Alright everyone, welcome to the Rugby League History channel. Tonight's video is going to be my weekly Rugby of the Week award. If you're new to the channel, I give this award to the player, person. It can be anyone associated with Rugby League that does the daftest thing of the week. It can be an action, it can be someone's said something on either Facebook, Instagram, and I give this award out every Sunday. And also, if you are new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, make sure that you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell. I'm up to 263 subscribers at the moment. I want to get up to about 300, and I think I can get there by the end of the month. But I need all your help out there to support the channel and to keep it going. And just thank you to everyone as well that's been supporting my channel from the very beginning. Now, I think I've done about 12 to 13 episodes of this, so it's been quite a popular segment, but we'll get in with it now. And what I normally do, if you're new to the channel, is I announce the winner straight off the bat and then go through the other nominations. Now, for this week, I think this is going to be the first ever time that a player's won the Rugby of the Week award, and this week's award goes to Mitchell Moses. Now, Mitchell Moses had a really poor game against South Sydney. He didn't do very much. It was his chance to once in his career stand up and say, I'm going to lead this team forward. I'm going to be the halfback that takes the game by the scruff of the neck. I'm going to take Parramatta to the preliminary final. I'm going to prove all me doubters and all the people out there wrong, that I'm not a choker and that I can step up in a big game. And what we got was the opposite. He was very quiet. He didn't really do that much. Yes, he did kick 4 conversions, most of them from the sideline. But in the second half, with the game at 20 points to 18 in South's favour, Parramatta gets a penalty goal right in front of the post to make it 20-all, and it's back to anyone's game. Mitchell Moses kicks the ball, hits the post, Souths get the ball, go down the other end of the field and score 26 points to 18, the score was, and then they ended up running away with it after that. Did it cost Parramatta the game? I think it did. Some people say that it didn't, but it certainly changed the momentum back into South Sydney's favour. Some people might think that I'm being highly critical of Mitchell Moses, but look, he's a first grade rugby league player. He gets paid, I think, about $700,000 a year, and as a goal kicker and someone that no doubt practices goal kicks at training, he can throw that ball over. And I'm pretty sure most of the people watching this video could have kicked the ball in a similar situation. So Mitchell Moses gets me Rugby of the Week award. Now we'll go into some of the other nominations now. The first one was by Jack March, who I think he's been on one of the other Rugby of the Week awards. I'm not too sure. The name does ring a bell though, like. And he said Newcastle were playing against 14 players on the field the entire time. That's in reference to the South Sydney match where they were beaten 46 points to 20. Now, if South Sydney perhaps won by 2 to 6 points, or there was a bad call, then yeah, sure, you can see Newcastle might have been robbed or the referees were not impartial or whatever. But they lost 46 points to 20. So even if the referee wasn't impartial, I don't really think it would have made much of a difference, because Newcastle had a 14-0 lead and they blew it, and South Sydney come back and scored 46 unanswered points. The next Rugby of the Week nominee is Baz Sam, and he said, so he choked up in tears telling his parents, okay, no biggie, he plays for the Chokers, just another at the Dragons. That's in reference to Zach Lomax phoning up his parents and saying to them, look, I made the State of Origin preliminary squad, the New South Wales Blues preliminary squad. And then someone by the name of Eddie Armstrong said, which team do you support? And then for 4 days there was no response from Baz Sam. And then I went, no answer to the question. So obviously he probably goes for someone like the West Tigers or maybe the Gold Coast or Brisbane or something. The next comment and the next nominee goes to Andy Thomas, who said, well, isn't that surprising? Usually a Sydney team in the finals gets overlooked when it comes to suspensions. And there they go. And then Isaac Fall said, like Slater in 2018. This is in reference to Viliami Kikau getting ruled out of the preliminary final for his tackle. Now, what I'd see to that is you have to go back to some other, well, in general in the past, it doesn't really matter what team you play for. You either get found guilty or you don't. There's no favouritism, I think, when it comes to teams in the judiciary. The judiciary just makes a decision. There's no ifs or buts about that. The next nomination goes to Darren Cummins, who I think he was in one of the other nominations as well in another video, and he said, "Fuck's sakes, would have been not guilty if he was a Melbourne or Eastern Suburbs player in front of the panel." And this is once again in reference to Viliami Kikau getting suspended for Penrith. And then what I've got to see to that is Cameron Smith got ruled out of the 2008 Grand Final against Manly by the judiciary, and Luke Ricketson, one of Sydney Roosters' Eastern Suburbs' favourite sons, he missed the 2004 NRL Grand Final due to a tackle. So once again, the judiciary, there's no corruption involved. There's no ifs or buts about it. If you are guilty or not, you get found guilty or not guilty. That's just the way it goes. There's no favouritism on the judiciary. Now the next nomination, I don't know who actually typed this, but it's a really, I found this on Wikipedia and I find it quite funny. You can see that it's not necessarily a Noopty of the Week nominee, but I thought that this is actually quite silly. Whoever wrote it must be on some sort of a drug, or maybe they were drinking a lot, who knows. And they wrote, in 2027, under coach Gordon Tallis, St George finished in a solid 5th and made it to the grand final against the 6th placed Parramatta Eels, losing 30 points to 16. The Eels were coached by Nathan Hindmarsh, who finally broke his premiership drought after losing 2 grand finals as a player, 2001-2009. This was heartbreaking for St George coach Gordon Tallis, as he had made constant jokes on the Matty John show that Hindmarsh had never won a premiership. This led to his resignation as St George coach and was replaced by Cameron McInnes. McInnes led the Dragons to the 2030 minor premiership, 2033 premiership and the 2034 World Club Challenge, in one of the most successful periods in the history of the joint venture. Well, you know, in a way, I actually kind of like this, whoever put this on the Wikipedia St George page, because Parramatta actually win a premiership. 2027, here we come. We're going to win it in 7 years. Next nomination goes to Jordan Menz, who said, "Melbourne versus the Bay next week in the preliminary final. Ha ha, Raiders are a second tier team. P the ref tonight and it showed. They're an absolutely useless club." Oh really? Is that why they beat Melbourne earlier this year? Is that why they're so useless? And is that why they beat them in the qualifying final last year in Melbourne? They're so useless, aren't they? And then the final nomination goes to Diego Fuentes. And this one's actually quite funny and personal for me, because Diego is our lass's brother. So he could be my future brother-in-law. And he's a Canterbury fan. And after the Parramatta game, he went, ha, and then he had a meme of, you know, I get my hopes up, I get disappointed, and it goes and it's got Parramatta in the middle. And then I went, Canterbury finished 15th. And then he responded, better than choking in the finals. I'd rather finish 15th. And I'm kind of going, I don't know if his hatred for Parramatta or just he's not thinking straight, but if you ask any team or any fan of any team out there and you were to see, would you rather come 15th this year or would you rather make the finals and choke? I'm pretty sure everyone out there would choose to make the finals over coming second last and avoiding the wooden spoon on for and against. So anyways, everyone, that's me Noopty of the Week award this week. This week it went to Mitchell Moses for his performance in the elimination final against South Sydney. Now just before I go, I'd like to say something to everyone out there, and that's over the last couple of months there's been someone by the name of John Salvatino, also known as the Thrush, aka the Rango Man, and they've got another new username now. And they've been going around and they've been trolling me, saying stuff to me. I don't know why, I never did now. And they've been trolling other people I know. Some people have copped it worse than me. And I just want to say that I know who the person is. I know exactly whereabouts they're located. I know all that. Now, I'm not going to expose them tonight. This is more of just a warning that if you continue to keep trolling me and other people and keep saying stuff, then I'm going to expose you. As simple as that. So I'm giving you the opportunity now, because I know that you're going to be watching this video. So I don't know what I've done to you, but I know who you are, and if you keep going, I'm going to have to expose you. And I don't really want to do that. But anyways, everyone, that's my video. If you did like the video, click that like button. And if you enjoyed the video tonight, and if you're enjoying some of the other videos and you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do, so you keep supporting the page. And I'm going to keep releasing videos, and I've got another one coming tomorrow night. So that's me done for now, and I'll catch you all later, everyone. Enjoy the start of next week. Alright, ta-ra.